spinning. We are live. Let's play this video. Hi, welcome to Wings Week in Review. My name is Sean. I am a returning citizen, and I'm here with our founder, our CEO of Wings for Life International, Ann, and she has a few words she would like to tell you out there.
I'm the executive director. We don't have CEOs around here, but anyway, yes, I am. I'm the founder, and my first husband went to prison, and that's why I do this. And so we're now in our 27th year, and we are here to help you, your loved ones. If you're going to prison, if you're coming out of prison, if you've got children, families, loved ones, anyone, anywhere, we are here to help. So yes, I want to kind of review some things that we've been doing since this is Wings Week of Review.
We have a lot of good news this week, right, Ann?
Oh my gosh. This week, we went to Santa Fe again. And Ken, Mary, and I, and Tom all went to the Santa Fe Capitol building. We talked to office staff of all the senators and representatives, and we just had a call about 15 minutes ago from one of our state representatives that told us that she was going to up her pledging amount to make sure that we get a building in the future. She was going to give us $700,000, guys. That just came in about 15 minutes ago.
So Wings for Life can get its own building.
Well,
now.
No matter what, with $700,000, but we know there are at least 3 other people that have senators or representatives that have pledged that they're going to give us each $100,000 out of their allocated funds. The way it works in New Mexico, each senator was given $3 million something or other. I don't know the exact amount, and each representative, I think it was $1.3 million. And one of those representatives, Karen Bash, has said she is going to give us $700,000. So in the next year or so, we are going to have a building where not only will we have a studio to be able to do this kind of programming, we're going to start WingsWorks. And Sean is going to be our director of WingsWorks. And Mike, that you're going to meet here in a second, his mom is the one who is giving us her 35-year craft business. Very successful business. She's been a wholesaler to over 250 stores across the Southwest, gift stores. She does ceramic work, paperwork. She does beautiful, beautiful things. And stores order 5, 10, a dozen, 100 of her items at a time. We're going to be a wholesaler. We're going to teach people how to do her product that the buyers already want to buy, and then how else to create their own product. So when people come out of prison, somebody is, very creative and they want to do their own business. We're going to have the kilns. We're going to have all the molds. We're going to have we're going to have painting shops. Somebody's giving us $12,000 worth of framing equipment. So we're going to teach people how to mat and how to frame. We're going to be the cheapest in town because we want to be able to do this for people. We'll be matting all of our artists' work. And you know how creative people are that are incarcerated. My gosh, they're some of the most talented people I've ever seen. And so we're going to be able to turn their gifts, God-given gifts, into something where they can actually make money doing it. So we are going to have a building for all this, and maybe a one-stop shop where you can come in and talk to somebody and try to get housing and food. All of our donated clothing and all the items that we get, we're going to be able to give that away to people. And so we're just so excited. So
it's going to be a great place to go. You get out of prison. I did a few years in prison. I had nowhere to go when I got out. There is no buildings like that. There's Goodwill, St. Vincent de Paul, little places here and there, but we're going to have all in one building, and we can put you to work with this Wings Work project. So, we're going to be able to, studies show that when somebody gets out of prison, if you can give them and you can teach them how to live without without committing crimes. A person who got a paycheck every week and they're living part of society again, and society lets us back in, we don't go back to prison. We
That's
don't.
right.
We don't go back. We stay out and we become productive members of society. And that's what Wings for Life's all about.
And we've had a 4% recidivism rate in our program for 14 years for people that came into our live program. So we can't wait to get back live. But in the meantime, we've become very good at Zoom and now all of this podcasting. And so speaking of Zoom, Monday night, you could join us 6 o'clock Mountain Time, and you could email us. Or we'll have somebody
in the description below this video. There's a link for the Zoom.
Oh,
you can click it and go
Sean's
right
already
there.
got us all taken care of. Yeah. So there you go. And we have a wonderful police officer, 33 years. He's been in a police department and doing a whole variety of things. And he's going to talk about basics. If you get stopped by the police, what do you do? Boy, I didn't know until we had the police chief come in that when you get stopped, you're supposed to put your hands on the steering wheel and you're supposed to lower all the windows, and you're not supposed to dig in your glove compartment for the registration form or in your purse for your driver's license. Well, otherwise, what would I have done if I had been stopped? I would have been digging in my purse, and maybe they thought I was pulling out a gun. So we're going to learn all these tips and tricks.
And we get to ask them questions after, right?
Of course we do.
So you get to ask a cop, guys.
Yeah, and find out that they are. And my brother-in-law is a police officer, so they are family members. They are people that we love dearly, and they are parts of all the communities. And we need to be respectful of them and the work that they do. So he's going to be Monday night, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Also, I'm going to talk about our LifeWise family workshops that we offer every Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, 6 to 7:30. Thursday afternoon, this is from 1 to 2:30, and then Saturday mornings from 10 to 11:30.
The links are underneath the description of this video too. If they're not, I'll make sure they are today.
And so these topics are a little more specific to New Mexico, but they're good topics there for everybody to call in and find out about. So if you don't even live in New Mexico, who cares? A lot of these things are generic enough that certainly 3 or 4 of them are generic enough that it would be really worthwhile you joining us for that. And of course, and your loved ones. And everything is free, and it's all by Zoom. And then we go to breakout rooms. We have facilitators that are going to be able to help you with various topics. So I wanted to share that. And then let's see. I think that's it.
We got some people in the room right now asking questions. I got Don Johnston. I got Katrina Shrub and Dave. So let's see what they are asking. And Mike's next to me. You guys can't see him. I'll show you in a minute. Don Johnson says Art Street was a good program too. Art Street.
Oh, yes. And is this Don Johnston from Albuquerque? Well, let's see if it is. Because he runs a wonderful program trying to help sex offenders when they get out. And so Art Street still exists. It's down on Central and 8th Street. And I'm part of Albuquerque Celebrates Recovery. And every year in the month of September, that's the recovery month. And we hold a big art show. So if you're an artist and you want to be part of that, get in touch with me, because we always invite the artists that are in recovery. And that means so many people that have been incarcerated, and it's their opportunity to put their artwork for sale and put it up on the wall and have your real showing. And I go every year, and hundreds of people, and it's a very exciting time. And then it's up for the whole month too. So that's a great program. Yeah. So
a couple more people I missed too. We got Patricia Nova and TJ. And she's giving us the emojis.
Okay,
praising that. Okay. TJ, who I know from my channel, he's saying, "Sup, John? Great work you guys are doing." You bet, TJ. TJ's waiting sentencing. He's gonna be. Oh. He will be a returning sentence.
Well, you know what though, TJ? Let me just give some advice to you from me. Take advantage of every single program in prison. Do not hang around the gangs. We've already heard with the gangs, if you don't want to join the gang, what they call it is go Christian. That's what they say, go Christian. Yeah. But you have to go and be real. You can't be goofing around with that. But if you get around the Christian leaders in any prison, They're not there to proselytize and push theology down your throat. They're there to actually try to help you and try to help you stay clean and do what you want to do while you're in prison. So take advantage of everybody that goes in there. I've done work in prisons across really some international too, but at 20 states I've done family days, and there are wonderful volunteers that go into every single prison or do Zoom programming like we do, and take advantage of them. I don't know any volunteer that goes in because they don't get paid, and that doesn't go in because they don't care, and they are coming in to help you. So take advantage of all of that. Send your families to our Monday night programs. We'll be Zoom regardless of where you live, and we'll be able to help your family. If you have children, we'll be able to help them. And we're happy to talk to them in person. They could call us anytime because I know what it feels like to have a loved one going off to prison.
Yeah, TJ, you hear that? I know I've told you before, but you have your family, your friends call, even before you go in. We got so much to offer them. They don't have to be alone while you're inside. And plus, there's no visiting right now, so they're really going to need some outside help. We're there for you.
And I remember my husband saying one thing, and I always heard people say it when we would visit in prison: you can't stop the clock. No matter what, you got so much time, and you can't stop that clock. That clock is going to keep ticking. One of those days, I don't know how long you have, but you will get out of there. But are you going to waste every day just, oh, I'm so miserable, I can't do anything? Yes, you can. We have a board member who spent 33 years in every prison, male prison in Oklahoma. While he was in prison, he got 2 master's degrees. He wrote his business plan. He got out, and while he was in prison, he learned how to fix everything, from plumbing to roofing to flooring to lights to you name it. And guess what he started? First Impressions home repair. And now he is making far more than I make doing the First Impression home repair. And he could fix anything because he learned how to do it in prison. So do not waste a day. So many people that are successful, they read, they learn from the staff and the volunteers and each other, and they don't waste a day. You can help somebody else. If you're educated, help them read. Learn Spanish. Read, get those degrees, and do not waste a minute of your time, because it's a minute you will never get back in your life. And that clock will keep ticking. You will go home to your family.
Words of wisdom. Next up, I got Katrina. Is there a backup of the marshals moving people to camps? So, I don't know that answer, Katrina. She's talking federal prison.
Yeah, I know about marshals moving people.
She's got a son that got sentenced, and he's in the detention center, and it's been, I don't know, 5 months. And they still won't transfer him out to go to the prison.
It's really it always has been a difficult system. My husband was years ago, thank heaven, he was able to self-report and turn himself in. Your son, unfortunately, is at the beck and call of the federal prison system. You can't push it. Please do not contact that detention facility. Mm-hmm. You will make it more difficult on your son. Just encourage him to hang in there, to not, again, waste a day of his life. But every day that he's there is a day less that he's going to have to serve, because this is all a day that counts. So just tell him to take advantage of every opportunity while he's there. You can't push it, and do not try to push it, because it will only backfire on your son, and you don't want to do that.
So we are on Facebook and YouTube, on 2 YouTube channels. So Don's on the Facebook. Then I got a Dave. I'm not sure which one he's on. He says, "Hello, Sean." I've known a few Daves in my life, so I'm not sure which one you are. But hi, Dave. Dave's not here. I got Mike to my right. Guys, bear with me. I'm going to try to switch cameras here. And I'm still learning, guys, as you know, how to work these cameras. So let's see if I can get to go.
Hey, actually don't know that I need to be here anymore. Mike is
Okay.
very capable. I will be in my office if you need me for anything or any
Okay.
questions. Yes,
All
I
right.
can jump back
Well,
in a
I wanted to
second.
thank you, and for
Well, thank
all
you
this
for
opportunity.
doing such a fantastic job. So
we don't have a script here, guys, so bear with us. We're just
we're winging it.
we're winging it.
So I can always join you if you have any questions for me. I'm not leaving. So I'm here. I'm just going to let Mike talk because Mike does a lot of wonderful things for us. He was our volunteer of the year this year.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we're so excited about everything that's happening now in 2022. So here you go. Now you're here for Mike.
And we even have a live studio audience here. Say hi,
everybody. Hi.
Hear them in the background.
Should I just swap over to that?
Yeah,
one?
you want to see her here?
Yeah, I'll just come over to the other side.
Okay. I haven't learned how to work these cameras. I'm trying to be on the show and work the cameras, and got to bear with me. We got somebody new here. Wash hands, Dan. Oh, that's Dan Shapiro. It says Don Shapiro. I can't see if it's an O or A, but wash hands. He says, okay. I'm not sure what he means by that. Do you guys know?
I don't know. I licked mine an hour ago, so I think I'm good.
Okay.
Clean. So I think we're in good shape.
All right. And I got a few more people. Let's see. We got Philip Harris. Patricia's in the room. I'm going to get to all your comments, guys. I just want to say hi to Mike. Dave's not here, too. Anyways,
Who is this Dave character?
I don't know, Dave. He knows me. I've got a roommate named Dave. I've had 2 roommates. High school Dave. There was a Dave I was in prison with. I don't know which Dave are you, but anyways, this is Mike. Forget about Dave. So I've got to know Mike over the last couple months because I'm the latest hire here at Wings for Life. So they gave me a chance, guys. I went to prison, and now I get to help people coming out of prison and their families while they're in. Right. Mike's been doing that a lot longer than me. So, Mike, you want to say hello? Maybe let people know how long you've been with Wings for Life. Why are you here? What do you get out of it?
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, I've been with Wings for about around 4 years, best I can guess. And actually all started with my mom, the one that has the company Wingsworks. And she just happened to tell me, maybe you should go check this thing out one night. And I just kept rolling through my mind and showed up one day and I was hooked immediate. Got to sit down with a whole bunch of people that had been in prison and especially the kids and what they're going through.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. I hear you're quite a character with those kids.
Yeah, have a lot of fun with the kids. Yeah, I'm a big kid, I guess you'd say. I'm 20 years old and
still gets carded.
Not. But yeah, I spend a lot of time with the kids. Love to have fun with them.
So these kids, why their parents are, their father and their mother's in prison, are these are kids from your church or?
Actually, I work 2 different places. Before COVID, we were working with the kids, hands-on, one-on-one. Got to spend a lot of time with them, read with them, play. We played a lot. Built things, made things. With my church, I work in the cafeteria. Just started that up not too long ago, and that way I get to feed all the kids. And I also clean the school up there for fun. I don't know if you consider that fun, but I do. And matter of fact, just before this, I was setting up their sound for school dance they're doing.
Nice.
So yeah,
and I got to be part of our Christmas drive where probably 800 kids were there, 800 families. We gave away thousands of presents, and Mike was a big part of that. Remember that?
Yeah.
I
remember.
The smiles on their faces. And these are kids, their dad's in prison, their mother's in prison, or they're coming out of prison. But, I mean, these kids wouldn't have a Christmas. There's a lot of organizations that do give toys to kids, and it's not just us. But I got to be part of, what we did with Wings, and it was, we were more for the people coming out with somebody in prison. There's not a lot of organizations to help out the families, people in prison. Do you know how many there are? Organizations that help families of incarcerated people?
Actually, I don't really know any like Wings at all.
There's Wings for Life. There's us.
Wings for Life International.
I'm not sure who else is out there. Yeah.
I mean, the number one goal is to get the children back with the parents. Keep them engaged. The parents, I can tell you right now, the parents that are in prison love their kids. If you are a child of someone that's in prison, believe me, they love you. They miss you every single day. And I'm hoping that we're playing the part in between to help make sure it stays that way. Families that stays in contact, and you'll live a much happier life. Your kids will be a lot happier, especially if you tell them how much you love them. And we'll make sure that they get that.
Yeah, I know that's important. I did time with a lot of guys that miss their kids, and when the kids come to visit them, after the visit, they felt worse because now they got to say goodbye to their kids. And it's really hard on people in prison, but it's even harder on the kids.
Yeah.
And have to go visit your parent in prison. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I got a few questions up here. Let's get to these, Mike, and let's see. Philip Harris says, we hired several former inmates. They're very good employees from Facebook. That's true. You give an inmate, somebody out of prison, a good job, and they don't have to go back to prison. Some people struggle. Now, I got a friend that was in this office a couple weeks ago, and he was a big-time drug dealer, making big money, and he's struggling because he's only getting like $18 an hour, which to me sounds great. $18 an hour to him, that's a struggle, and he's not used to it. And, so we came in, we're going to help him find he needs an apartment. He wants to get out of his sister's house. He just got out of prison, but, we got him on the right path. When he left here, he told me he was so glad he came because we got to listen to him, and somebody actually took the time to hear what he's going through and the struggles. And, when you get out of prison, not a lot of people understand what you went through and how hard it is to adjust to life once you're out. I'll still wake up in the middle of the night and sweats, and I'm thinking I'm in the shoe, or, I'm still in prison and I have to figure out where I am. It happens, and it's not easy sometimes. What do you think about when you give an inmate a job, or former inmate a job, returning citizen?
Just to see somebody get back up on their feet is awesome. And for a lot of the inmates, just having somebody there willing to give you a chance. And I've given quite a few inmates jobs, quite a few of them, and give them skills they can use. One of the best things I found for inmates is giving them a little leeway because they've been out of the workforce for such a long time, and to realize that they have kids, okay? They want to help their families. They want to get back together and be able to talk with them and provide things of that nature, even if they're not staying in the same house, but just being there to give them that chance, give them a little leeway. It's one thing we love to do. I can overlook a lot of things and just guide you along as you go along, and pretty much everybody else here will do the same thing. We understand maybe you're not used to certain things, or even if we could help you with even figuring out a phone, just the little things make all the difference in the world.
I got connections to give you guys free phones. I can help you out with that. Our phone number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, guys. And and our website, and underneath this video, all the links to links for life. So there's no excuse on how to get a hold of us. It's right on your screen underneath there, the phone number. Patricia Neva. During this lockdown, are they still attending classes or moving the list? My husband is on the waiting list for a job and classes. Now, I believe she's talking about state prisons, New Mexico. Do you know?
I'm not sure.
During this lockdown, I know in the federal prison, classrooms are all shut down. Programs are shut down. They're on a national lockdown in the federal prison system, except for the camps. The inmates at the camps have to go work at the other prisons and they're going to make thousands of bologna sandwiches. They're going to do their laundry. They're going to mop their floors. They're going to empty their trashes. And that's what the people at the low security camps do. When the penitentiaries and the mediums and the lows, when they all get locked down, they take the campers and they go work like 12 hours a day. I used to dread that because that's what I had to do. So right now there's a national lockdown on all federal prisons because a lot of A bunch of inmates just got killed. It's been in the newspaper. But state prisons are on. A lot of them are on lockdown now too. This Omicron and the virus. It won't go away. You know, what do you know about that?
Yeah, it's been pretty irritating. I must admit. Very difficult on the families, no doubt. It's probably one of the most devastating things. We used to be hands-on all the time. The time. Love spending time with the kids and the parents and not having to worry about any viruses or anything like that. So it hit us pretty hard, but we were pretty well adapting to it. Surprisingly, right off the bat, we started the Zoom and everything like that. Contacted the prisons, got right into them joining in with us. So we reached out right away, which did wonders. It did wonderful things. That's one thing we're really good about is figuring out ways to get things to work better.
I was just told by my probation officer next year I can go back to prison. I mean, as a free man with you guys. So
awesome.
Yeah, they're gonna because I'll be off my 3 years probation.
Yeah.
So she told me, yeah, we'll make it happen for you. So
that was one of the hardest things. I went to the week before I was supposed to go to prison with Ann and everybody else. Then we had COVID hit.
Yeah.
I lost my chance to go into the prisons and spend time with the kids and the families. I was so looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to the day that it comes back.
Yeah.
I want to go in and I want to see firsthand with the families. But in the meantime, we'll keep working with families through Zoom and every other way.
There you go.
And as soon as they get out.
So I got a bunch of more comments. I got Mr. Shapiro out there. You guys know him, right?
I know, Don.
He says, my first time at Wings Week in Review. Good to see you, Sean and Ann. How elevating. Thank you for watching. We'll be here every Friday at 3:00. Leave some comments after and keep asking us questions now, and we love it. Dave says, the one awaiting sentencing from Maryland. Oh, that's Dave. So yeah, I got another channel I do, guys. It's Federal Prison Talk, but this is running on that channel as well as the Wings for Life channel. So I get calls from guys all the time awaiting sentencing in the federal prison system, and I help them out with all kinds of questions their lawyers don't know the answers to or don't want to give them the answers to, and maybe how to write a letter to the judge and a character reference letter, what programs will give you time off. And I mean, I get hundreds of questions. You'd be surprised. So people in the federal system, like for me, I was waiting sentencing for 4 years. Now I got to be home, but 4 years, not knowing if I'm getting 20 years or probation. And every time you go to court, they keep putting it off for 3 months, putting it off for 3 months. It's a living hell. You have no idea. 2, 3, 4 years go by, and nobody believes you're going to go to prison. You know you are, but it's you go crazy. So I was searching YouTube and looking for any kind of answers or help I got, and there wasn't a lot out there. So when I got out of prison, I make these videos now, and I try to provide some help, some answers, and advice. And now I'm here at Wings for Life, and now there's a whole crew of us helping you guys. So Mike's one of the good guys. And let's see. So we got Mr. Shapiro. Don says, I miss heat. Can you read?
Hearing Mike reading stories. Hearing Mike read stories to the children.
Oh yeah, he misses hearing Mike read. We were live. Is there a link to your storytelling somewhere?
Yeah, on the main page. I think it's Facebook page, if I'm correct. Do you know, Harry? I believe it's on our main Facebook page. We can get it to kids. And matter of fact, I need to get back on there and do some more reading to the kids.
So go to Facebook, Wings for Life on Facebook.
Yeah, and hopefully we can upgrade that and do some like high technical stuff like Sean is doing here.
We got Philip Harris. Hi, my girlfriend is in Bryan FPC. FPC stands for Federal Prison Camp. So it's my girlfriend. So there's only 10 camps for women in the federal system that I know of, and there's a few higher up. Women have like two kinds of. They go to a camp and a low, or they go to a penitentiary. Basically, I think there's a third option, but it's like a supermax. But if she's in a camp, I know they're on lockdown right now, but I know she's in a safe place. You guys remember Martha Stewart? She went to Alderson. So there's a lady that was on my channel now. She calls me every weekend because they give free phone calls right now in the prisons, in the federal system. Nice, free phone calls. So she lets me know. But they're all still on lockdown, quarantine, and it's a miserable time to be in prison. So I feel for you, Philip. We got Don Shapiro. I asked about Mike. Okay. And he says, aha, I used an emoji that was hand washing, but I thought it was applauding. Yikes. That's
So what you're telling me, Don, is I licked my hands for no reason an hour ago to clean it. So all right.
Don says, got to be careful with emojis. Yeah, you never know these days. They got an emoji for an emoji, you know what I mean? Katrina says, Fort Dick's friend said everyone got max program points for shutdown period. Home Tuesday for him, extra 10 months off his sentence. That's good news, right, Katrina? Yes. That's great news. Katrina calls me a lot because her son's in prison. And she's got less than a year to go and be home. And it sounds like even better. She'll tell me more later. Patricia says, Katrina, that's so good for him. Now, what about the camps? Yeah, well, I was telling you, camps are on lockdown too, but they'll let them go to work in the penitentiaries and the mediums, the other prison. They got to work 12-hour shifts. Basically, they're making bologna sandwiches, or they're doing laundry, or they're mopping floors. They're cleaning the prison. After 12 hours, they go back to the camp, to their own lockdown unit, go to sleep, wake up, and do it all over again. And they get 12 cents an hour for that. So, and I think you get $1 at the end of the week. You get $1 bonus. If I remember, we never got our $1 though. They promised it, but we never got it. Don says, I am. Patricia says, so what about if they're on the waiting list for these programs, job classes? Are they also getting that, or they're out of luck? They are giving credits for work programs now instead of the classes. The BOP got in a lot of trouble, and they got sued. I know this. A lot of you guys are on dealing with state prisons. I'm sorry, these are federal prison questions, but right now the federal prison, the Bureau of Prisons, got in a lot of trouble for this First Step Act. They're supposed to give earned time credits for every 10 days you work, or every 30 days you work. You're supposed to go home 10 days early to a halfway house, and they weren't doing that, and this law was passed 3 years ago. Now they're finally making them do it. All since the classes and programs have been shut down, if you had a job working in the dining room or landscaping, any kind of job, they're calling that work time credits now, and they're giving you credits for that. And a lot of I already know in Florence, Colorado, we're at the prison, they let 80 people go home early last month in January that didn't even know they were going home. They had less than a year to go, and they were called in the office and said, can you get a family member to pick you up tomorrow? We'll let you go. And they did that to 80 people. And they did that at Alderson. They did that at Lewisburg, and they did that at Sheridan, because I've got calls from all these prisons. So I know that's a couple hundred inmates. The newspaper says 1,000 got let go free, and I kind of believe that. So there's hope. But they got to have less than a year left, and they're going home like this month. So that's good news. Patricia says, I really hope so. Yeah. And got a lot more. Let's see here. Thank you, Patricia. Here's your buddy, Don Shapiro. So happy about having our own building. Imagine Wings being open 7 days a week with everything social under one roof. Don said 7 days a week. Yeah,
Don, you'll be here Sunday, right?
Mary in the back wants to know if you're coming into work 7 days a week. Kid says, slow down, buddy.
It's not that bad. I do it anyway. I work 7, so whatever.
Philip,
stay busy.
Philip says, I'm retired Navy, so I can relate to struggling to find someone who can relate to the hardships. I can relate to that. Yeah. Hey, thank you for your service in the Navy, by the way. And I mean that. I know sometimes you guys, the service, hear us say thank you, but I do really mean that. I know it's getting kind of a cliche now. But when I say that, I truly mean that, okay? Katrina, Patricia, we're all for 2020. Oh, they're talking to each other in the room.
Oh.
It's actually becoming a chat room.
That's not a bad
Federal
thing.
prison. Oh, look at
So
this.
we like a lot of chat.
Oh, we got like 13 people in the room.
Nice.
Facebook's on here. Great, man. Don Shapiro says, and Mike, our children's storyteller.
Yeah, we just got in a whole bunch of books. I have boxes. Matter of fact, from our church, they decided they wanted to redo the entire, their every book that they had. They want to replace every single book they had, and they asked me if I wanted them. I said, "Oh, absolutely."
Wow.
So we have a pretty good library of books that we can use now. So I can do some reading and storytelling, and there's a couple other things that I may be able to display the book up and read it at the same time, which will make it a lot better because it's kind of hard to read off to the side. Believe it or not, give you about a headache reading it like that. But yeah, so hopefully I can upgrade it quite a bit.
So are there extra books that you can give away to people too?
Oh, I'm sure I'll have plenty of extra books. We do end up with quite a few books that we end up giving away to the kids.
So if anybody's out there and they have kids that need books, can they get a hold of you?
Absolutely.
Through Wings. Call the number that's on your screen on the bottom, guys.
Yeah.
So if you need books for your kids, give us a call. I know we got stuff around here for kids too, right?
Yeah. We even actually had one lady, can't remember the name of the book, but she wrote a book and we got to read it on the Wings for Life reading. I mean, it was awesome. A great little story.
Was it called Family Arrested?
That's a long book. Yeah, mine are usually the shorter stories, but the little books.
It was Rita Marcus.
Rita Marcus. That's right.
Yeah, she and her grandkids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, we love to get books in from people, especially if you write them and send them over to Wings. We're more than happy to read them. So
Don is asking you, Mike, how do I access your storytelling video for families I'm working with? Didn't he ask that question earlier?
Yeah, it should be on the Facebook page.
Facebook, Don?
Yeah, and you should be able to find it
7 days a week on Facebook.
There's our work for the 7 days a week. Yeah, just look us up on YouTube and we'll be there.
Patricia says, June, they aim to reinstate visiting. I really hope so. Families do suffer. Well, this whole pandemic was only going to last 2 weeks, guys. Remember? Run out and get toilet paper, but you're only going to need it for 2 weeks. Remember that? So, so there's a new one. It's called the SARS V2, SARS variant 2. So it's called the V2. You heard it first here. It's going to be out by the end of the week. It's in Africa now, but by next Thursday, it'll be in 28 states. They've already got the next one lined up, guys. So I don't know. I mean, it's really hard when you're in prison. I mean, talk about social distancing. So I hear the only one who wears masks in prisons are the inmates. The guards, they don't wear their mask, but they make sure you got yours on there. And half the guards are overworked, understaffed, working overtime. They're making the nurses, the dentists, and the school, the classroom teachers, they're making them all do the work of correctional officers now because they're so understaffed and overworked. And that's why a few people just died this last week in the federal system, but the state prisons are just as bad. It's just a really bad time to be in prison right now. So if you have family members in prison or friends in prison, write them a letter. A letter is like gold. When I was in prison, if I got a handwritten letter from somebody, they took the time to find the paper, to find a pen, to sit down and only think about me and write me a letter and then get an envelope and a stamp and find out my address and write it down and take it to a mailbox and and I get to hold that letter. It's like, it's like gold. And you show it to your friends in prison, you pin it on your locker, you stare at it, you'll read it 10 times over. So they could really use a letter from you right now. That's just my words of for this week. That's the best thing you could do for somebody in prison, right? I would rather have a letter than $20 put on my books. Really, I really would. 20's nice, don't get me wrong, how about a letter and $20? But the letter was worth more than the $20.
Right.
It's my little spiel. Just saying. Hint, hint. Don says, thanks, Mike. And Philip says, this is my one time for the program. I have questions about FSA. Can my girlfriend get halfway house or home confinement and supervised custody? Yes, yes, yes. First Step Act is what FSA stands for. So you can get up to a year early release. That's good for a halfway house or home confinement. Every 30 days you work. If you're a non-violent criminal, you can get 15 days off. If you're violent, you get 10 days off. Kind of how they do it. They do profile you in there. But so you get at least 10 days early release for every 30 days that you work or do a program right now. Katrina says, feds are giving those points across the board. Yes, they are. And Don says, yes. And Philip says, thank you. It's much appreciated. And Don says, LOL, about 7 days at Wings. In my youth center in New York City, we had our own building and had all services 5 days a week. But our volunteer art and martial arts teachers taught classes on the weekends. So okay. So, but you didn't do 7 days.
Had it recorded, right, Don?
So keep the questions coming. We got a lot there. Let's see what I can ask Mike next. Do you have any favorite moments with Wings that you remember? Something that sticks out you'll never forget?
Here's the funny thing. I don't have a favorite. I enjoy when I come in and I get to talk to somebody, especially if they open up. Even off to the side, open up and get to give advice, or if they ask anything, or if they just need an ear to listen, but to watch them by the end of it, like a relief. Someone who actually cares, and that happens a lot here, whole lot here. I've seen so many moments with people that their lives are changing, or understanding of certain things, or seeing how their kids are reacting and learning, and we're trying to improve on their lives as well. Love your kids. Unfortunately, we have to give them back to you, but no, we do love your kids. But yeah, I don't have a single moment. Every time that I get over here and everything that we get to do, I really enjoy, and I hold on to every bit of one of those memories. So there is no single moment. It ranges from moving stuff on a trailer to putting it up to watching people get out there and spending their time, just donating their time, to seeing the smiles that everybody gets. We always get a lot of smiles in there, so that's one of the biggest bonuses you can have. But as far as an individual moment, I cherish every single moment.
So I just gave advice if you have a family member or loved one in prison to write them a letter. Do you have some advice for a family member or someone that has somebody in prison?
Keep writing them.
No, that's mine. I want your own.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
When they come out, I would say be compassionate.
Yes.
Lifestyle in prison is quite a bit different from out. It is a life-changing thing. It's confusing. I've seen a lot of people just overwhelmed walking into a grocery store. You walk into a Walmart and you're in prison for even just 20 years, and you come out and you look at the shelves and it goes on forever. It can be overwhelming.
That happened to me my first week out. I'm staring at this. I'm just standing. And the manager, somebody came up to me, manager, can we help him with it? Everything all right here? I've never seen so much things in one eye.
Right.
And I told them I just got out of prison. And then they backed up and they left. Yeah. But then they came back to make sure I didn't steal anything. So,
But it's just the compassion and patience. Have patience with them. Have patience with the kids. Realize it's completely life-changing. It would almost be like me going to South Africa, being dropped off in the middle of a place where it's almost like a foreign language, and it's almost confusing. So you have to realize that. You have to kind of work along with everybody and just,
So here's a fact that's not very popular, but when you have a wife at home and you're doing a 5-year sentence or longer, the chances are that she is not going to be there for you when you get out. That's just the way it is. 1 or 2 years or 3 years, yeah, they'll wait for you. But most of the, I'm talking like probably, I'm gonna say 85% of the time you're not going to have a wife waiting for you. So if you are a wife out there and your husband is in prison, don't give up on him.
Yeah.
And I know he doesn't always want to talk about life, what's going on in there, and he needs to. So they really need to. Try not to give up on them, because we're here to help you through that. You can give us a call. The number's on your screen under there. And you're a wife in prison. You don't have to go through this alone anymore. We know what you're going through. Everybody here at Wings has. A lot of us have someone in prison. They've waited for somebody to come out of prison. You don't have to go through this alone. Do you have any advice for the wife whose husband's in prison right now?
I can't stress compassion enough. Even if you're not going to, even if things don't work out, having even just a friendship relationship would just do absolute wonders. Making sure that your children want to know their dad. Your children love your parents, the mothers, the fathers that are in prison. Just try to kindle that, keep that together. You would be surprised at how much that will strengthen you, your children, your husband or wife that may be in prison, or girlfriend or boyfriend. Just try and nurture that a little bit. And I would say that would be a huge, huge thing.
That's good.
Forgiveness is a big.
Forgiveness. Yes, I like that.
Forgive
but that
them
goes
for
both
going to
ways.
prison. Yes, it goes both ways. Forgiveness for them going into prison, leaving you there, which
Yeah, I get it. They went to prison and they did this to you. I get it. I get it. And they did do it to you. Yeah. And I'll be the first to admit who I did it to my family.
Yeah.
They didn't do it to me. I did it to me. And I did it to them.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to get through that.
Yeah.
How about kids getting bullied in school? Your mommy's in prison. Your daddy's on death row or whatever. That how kids are mean.
Very mean.
Since you're working with these, do you hear the stories from the kids getting bullied? Do they open up to you on that part?
Actually, the thing that the kids mostly open up, it's not as much that they're getting bullied. It's the feeling of emptiness. You have a parent, I don't. That is probably one of the hardest things I've seen for the kids. They don't want to talk about it to their friends because they're afraid that they will get attacked on it.
Oh, sure.
And that's, as far as much as bullying, I haven't had too many of them say it, but
cyberbullying, Facebook, putting the picture of their
there.
Friend behind bars, that you're going to end up just like your father. Oh,
yeah, that's one thing that they will hear is you're going to end up just like your father. And the best thing I could say, build a relationship with your parent, with your mother or father that's in there. Build that relationship to the point that you can just look right at them and say, I hope so. I hope I end up like my parent, not in the fact that they're in prison, but that they're learning, they're growing, they're trying harder. Building a relationship with your parent is one of the most important things you can do. And your child will love you for it. You can strengthen them as long as they know you love them and you work hard for them and you don't want them to end up where you've been. Will make all the difference in the world. That's for sure.
So there's a lady named Audrey. She's the one at the Alderson prison camp, the one Martha Stewart went to, the one who calls me on the weekends. Mm-hmm. So she's been divorced and raising her own son. I think he's 8 years old. She had to go do a couple of years in prison. So now the ex is raising the son and refuses to bring the son to a visit the whole time she's in prison. He said he will not let the son answer the phone, won't let the son write a letter to her, throws away any mail she tries to write to the son. Really cruel. This is the ex. So that son, I mean, this is how life is.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
one of the worst things you can do is keep your children from the other parent. It's damaging not only to your children, and it will last the rest of their life. You're not doing them any favor at all. A lot of damage on it. Also, the child may turn on you because you're not letting them. You're teaching them how to be spiteful or hateful. You don't want to ever do that to your child. That's not showing that your child that you love them. You want to make sure that you raise your children to love whoever is around and be able to forgive them. The benefits are endless. If you nurture your child's relationship with the other parent, never forget they will always be their mother or always be their father. Always, regardless. So yeah, whatever you do, don't cut that off, the relationship. And I understand a lot of you are going to go through it. Just remember, your children will always love you. They may not understand. And someday, if you get an opportunity and you haven't seen them in many years, talk to them. And if you are one of the children that are watching this, seek out your parent. It may not be the picture perfect thing, but it'll keep a lot of tensions and problems that you've had throughout your life. It gets it off the table. You'll know where you stand instead of always guessing, does my parents love me? Or, they don't ever want to see me. They may hear something or, that's not true, but get it off the table. Meet up with them. Most likely you'll be surprised because I'm betting 1,000,000 to 1. It's the same on both sides. I want to see my child and the child wants to see the parent. And all you have to do is just meet up. It's one of the most important things.
So one last question now, because we're getting towards the end. People on my channel are waiting to go to prison. They're 2, 3, whatever years sentencing. They got kids. What do they tell their kids when they finally get sentenced? They got a 3 years, 5 years. I have this discussion all the time. At what age do you tell the kid the truth? Do you lie to him? Do you tell him you're going to go on? Got to go work for the government for a year. You're gonna be gone 3 years.
No.
8 years old, do you tell them the truth? 16 years old, 5 years. You know what I mean?
Can tell you, I've.
When do you have that conversation? Let your kid know you're going off to prison.
As soon as possible. Cherish every moment that you have with your child. Say, I'm going to be going to prison. Be honest with them. Always be honest with them. Say, look, I'm going to go to prison. Yes, I did something wrong. You don't have to get into high detail with it at all. Just spend more time with them. Tell them I have a limited time before I have to go off to prison. And that way you can go hiking. The personal time is the best. Spend a lot of time with your kids, as much as you possibly can. Whether you go out walking, going to a park. I will always tell you, never lie to your child.
Yeah.
Don't ever lie to your child.
Do you think 5 years old is too young to tell him you got to go to prison?
Nope. No.
I agree. I mean, kids are smarter than we think.
No.
I mean, they can build a website at 3 years old. Can you?
Right. Yeah, but I'd say tell them as soon as possible and let them know. I am going to go to sentencing. The stronger you can build the bond with your child before you go into prison, the better. Yeah. Just press that. Spend time with them. Be honest with them. Love your children and let them know you love them. Let them know you love them when you're in there. Write letters to them. Let them write letters to you. And if you're the other parent and you just don't want that to happen, change your mind. The most you'll do is hurt your child if you don't nurture the relationship between you and your kids. Do not destroy it. That is the worst thing you could ever do. You will harm yourself and you will harm your kids. Don't ever cut them off.
I agree. That's good advice. I just got handed a note here. It says kids of the incarcerated have a 73% chance of being incarcerated. I don't know what that word is. Intervention.
Without intervention. Yeah, and you can cut that down a whole lot more if you're nurturing the relationship between, even if the other parent is in prison, okay? Nurture the relationship. Anything you can do to keep your child from going to prison. Think of it this way. If you try and destroy the relationship between you or your kids and the other parent, that 73% becomes extremely real. If you're honest and open with your children, say, look, I'm going away for this, and you just keep building a loving relationship and hold on to it, build it with your child to build it with the parent, and keep initiating it, you're going to find out that 73% is going to drop like a brick.
Yeah.
Stay honest with them. But whatever you do, don't just cut them off, and you don't want to talk to your parents because they're in prison or in jail or something like that. That 73% becomes extremely real. If you love your kids, nurture the love with the other parent. Even if you guys don't get along, I've been in the same place. My kids struggle as well. But always nurture it. You'll never regret it. Believe me.
Guess I missed some comments here real quick. Wait. Stay strong, prison wives. I missed that one. A memorable, Don says, a memorable moment when a Wings family member said, "You give us hope." Yes. And Philip Harris, I could tell you that my relationship with my girlfriend started out as a pen pal. Then we got closer. We have been dating for about 3 years now. All right. Okay. And hopefully soon he gets to a camp. And let's see. Katrina says, Sean, tell Audrey to make a copy of every letter she sends, dated. Someday her son will get to read them and know that she did write to him. Yes, that's a good.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing to do. Yeah. And then somebody from Russia sent this.
I have no idea what that is.
It's called they have spam in Russia too. KJ Effect, great suggestions. Who is the KJ Effect? I wonder. I wonder.
I wonder where KJ Effect is right now.
He can't hear us. He's next door. Don says, great work on this show, Mike and Sean. Awesome conversation about relationships with children whose parents are going to prison. Lots of wisdom here. All right. Thank you, Don. Don, we always need guests on this channel when you want to come down to the live studio here. We got,
right? Well, we have Don on YouTube as well.
We go.
He's spoken, very good speaker, and he's extremely experienced in a lot of areas.
Yeah, Don, anytime you want to sit in, you know where we're at.
Right?
Yeah, so just come on down, So I think we're gonna. That's been about an hour. Wrap it up. But do you have any final last words of advice? Future plans with Wings? Any upcoming events you want to announce?
I'm just hoping the pandemic ends. I want to get back with everybody. That's for sure. I love doing the sound and stuff for the Zoom.
Thank you too, Patricia. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really want to get hands on again. I'm etching for it. I want it so bad I can almost taste it.
Okay.
So hopefully it comes in quick.
I point up there. I didn't say anything. I'm just pointing up. All right.
Me too.
I didn't. I'm only pointing up. Anyways, up loves you. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Mike.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll see you next week. Please leave comments later. All the links are down below. And there's a Cash App and a Venmo. If you want to donate to Wings for Life International, watch us every week. We tell you where all your money goes, what we do with it, who's behind it. So we'll see you next week. And thanks for watching.